Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna have another video on Russian schools. The thing is that I sat down and I realized that in my previous videos about Russian schools, I didn't mention a lot of things that I really wanted to tell you about. So today we're gonna have the second part about Russian schools. If you watched my previous video on schools, you probably already know that the 1st of September is the first day of another school year for all Russian schools, for all Russian kids. But what exactly do Russian kids have on that first day of school? How does it usually go? In this regards, I have to say that for those people who have little kids who are going to go to school for the first time, 1st of September is really special. The whole family is there, to accompany the kid to school, and you can see on the streets that the family goes to school together with the kid, like the whole family. You can see mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, maybe some other relatives who are all together with the child. The child is nicely dressed, and he has this big bouquet of flowers in one hand, and they're making photos, a lot of photos on the way to school. So this is something really Russian. A whole family wants to be there for the kid on this special day. Like, it's a holiday for the whole family. Everybody's happy. In this regards, many companies are giving a 1 day off for mothers and fathers who are working and who have kids going to school for the first time. And usually kids, they do not go straight to their classes, but they stay in the schoolyard. The teachers are already there welcoming their kids. Each teacher has a little sign in her hand saying which kind of grade she's from. She gathers her children and they're just standing there waiting for official part to begin. Yes, usually on 1st of September, schools make something, some special performance for the kids. They have an official part before lessons begin. Well, last year we had no official part because of the COVID. Everything was restricted, so kids went straight to school. This year we were allowed to have this official part for the kids from first grades. Well, because it's their first day in school. For kids in fifth grades, because it's their first year in middle school. And also for kids from 11th grade, because it's their last year in school. It's a special year. So, like for those classes, we had this official part going on. Uh, so, what does this official part usually consist of? Well, first, a principal of the school appears and she welcomes everybody else. She congratulates the kids and the parents with the beginning of another school year, and she wishes for everyone to study well, to do their best and to have good, excellent marks. Then we usually have someone from local authorities, a person who nobody knows, also making a speech of the same type. And then the fun part begins. Then we have kids perform something that they have prepared especially for this day. So somebody is dancing, somebody is singing, someone recites poems, that are connected to this special day, to education and school and stuff like that. So usually this part is a bit fun. Well, this year, as we had COVID restrictions, all this official part was really, really short because usually it is about 30-40 minutes. This time we had it only for 15 minutes, and all the parents were asked to wear masks. Here I should say that in Russia, you are supposed to wear masks indoors, like in shopping centers and metro, in offices, like in places like that. But in on open air, you are allowed not to wear masks. But here, as we were all standing together in the crowd, we were asked to wear masks. So what exactly did we have? Our principal made a speech. Then some person from the local authorities also made a speech. And then kids from military class that we have. They marched in wearing their parade uniform. They carried our national flag with them, and the hymn was playing, so it was really very beautiful. And then after that, a group of girls danced, and the teachers also joined them, and they danced together. And after that, uh, they welcomed again all the classes separately, like the first classes. They said something good to them, and then they entered the school. Then they also said a few words for the fifth graders, and they entered the school. So everybody began entering the school one by one, so like the class after class. And yeah, and parents were finally free to go, to leave. Okay, you probably already have a question here. What in the world did I say? What kind of a military class did I mention? What all of this is about? Well, the thing is that after elementary school, kids have a choice where they want to go to, which class they want to continue to study in. For example, my child chose to study in a mathematical class. It means that he's going to have a more advanced program on math. He's going to have more lessons on math throughout the week. Um, except mathematical class, we also have social economic class that pays more attention to subjects like Russian language, literature, and stuff like that. And we also have this military class. What's the difference between the usual class and the military class? Well, the only difference here is that they study in a separate building and that they have stricter discipline there. They pay a little more attention to the physical education, and they stay in school until 4. Like usually kids have lessons until 1 in the afternoon, 2 in the afternoon, and then they are free to go home. But in military class, it's not like this. You have lessons, then you have lunch at school, then the kids can go out for about 15 minutes to play outdoors, to spend some time outdoors to get some fresh air. And then they return back to school and they are doing their homework with the teacher, like under the supervision of the teachers. And they're not allowed to leave school until 4. So that's how it goes. Here, I should say that like it's a really good choice for those kids who plan to have a military career in the future, who want to go and serve in the military afterwards. And it's also good for those parents who are working till late in the evening and they have nobody else to look after kids, and they don't want their kids to spend a lot of time on the streets. So that's a good opportunity for them because they are sure that their kids will definitely be under control until 4. So yeah. So as for the rest of the kids who don't have any special, desires, they can just go to a usual class. Here, I should also say that, like usually, kids who have good marks, they are allowed to go to mathematical class or to socioeconomic class, to those special classes. But if your marks are not really good, then you're not going to be accepted, and you will have to go to the usual class. Almost all Russian schools are state schools. We do have private schools, but not a lot, you know. And yes, everybody else says that we have free education, that we don't have to pay for anything. But the thing is that, yes, we don't pay for education. We don't pay for books because school usually gives kids all the books that they need. But not exactly. We still have to buy workbooks for our kids or some other material that is not included into the school program. And here again, this is not the only the only thing that we are paying for. Every year we also gather money for the school needs, for the class needs. So usually when parents get together or they communicate using WhatsApp or other messengers, we decide between ourselves, between parents, how much money we will need to together for another school year for the classes needs. Now you probably would wonder, what kind of special needs does a school have? Well, the thing is that in Russian schools, we are buying presents for the teachers. It's a tradition to buy your teacher a present. On the Teachers' Day that we have in the autumn, for New Year holidays, then for Men's Day, for Women's Day, for the teacher's birthday. So, like, it's inappropriate, it's considered to be inappropriate not to bring any present for the teacher. And instead of having everybody else buying something individually for the teacher, we usually decide, to gather the money and buy everything like from everyone else, to buy one present from the whole class. Um, yes. Now, I'm not saying that we're buying something expensive, but we still have to buy something. Like usually for the teachers' day, we are buying a bouquet. It can be a bouquet of flowers, or a bouquet made of chocolates or made of berries and fruits. They usually try to find something, something interesting to give for the teacher. Or they can give a little, basket with different types of teas and coffee, you know. So it can be almost anything. Well, this year I already paid 5,000 rubles to my youngest son's class. We didn't gather money for my older son's class yet, but I guess the amount will be the similar. Though most of the schools are state schools, it doesn't mean that all of them are the same. We have schools that give more importance to math. We call such school mathematical schools. We have schools that have some different, they have more options on learning some sort of foreign language. For example, we have a French school nearby. Well, it's called French among us, among parents, because they have French language there, starting from first grade. They also have English language, but they give more importance to French language. So if you want to choose a special school for your kid, you can do that. If you already know which subject will be needed for your child in the future, then you can do that. We have a lot of schools everywhere. Like in my neighborhood, we have 5 schools. And it is believed that a child should attend a school nearby, you know. And in this regards, Russian schools don't have any school buses. Even for the schools somewhere in the countryside, they don't have any buses. Yesterday, my kids brought back the books that were handed out to them by the school. So now I'm ready to show you their books and to show you what kind of subjects they are learning. These are the books for my younger son who is in 3rd grade, and these are the books for my older son who is now in 5th grade. It's his first year in middle school. Okay, so let me show you what kind of subjects my kids have, and show you the textbooks themselves. So, what does my little kid have? He has math. Let me just open it up for you to see how it looks inside. Oh, he already has his notebooks here. So, this book looks pretty cheerful, has little pictures here, little drawings. New material is outlined like this. It has a blue frame. And these are his notebooks for math. Now, Russian notebooks, they look pretty typical. We have standardized notebooks. This is for math. It looks like this. And Russian notebooks always have this red line that goes over here. You should write in this part of your notebook, and this is for the teacher, for the teacher's remarks. So if you make a mistake, the teacher is going to mark here that you have a mistake. And yes, kids usually have 2 notebooks for each subject because, for example, he writes his classwork in here, then he's going to write his homework here, and then on the following day he's going to give this to the teacher for checking, and he's going to write in the second one, and then vice versa, he's going to give this to the teacher to check how he did his homework and things, and he's going to write in this one. So they usually have 2 notebooks for each subject. Yep, so this is his math. Then he has Russian language. So this is Russian grammar. And yes, he also has 2 notebooks over here. Now little kids write in notebooks like this. Yeah, they have a lot of lines here. Because we're not writing with typed letters. Kids are write like this from the first year of school. That's how the book looks like. It looks pretty similar to the math book, actually. Like, the pictures here are similar. At the end, we have words that kids need to memorize. Words that are exceptions from the usual rules. Then, of course, he has Russian literature, yes. So they have different poems here, stories. Yeah, pretty colorful book. Oh, that looks nice. Yeah, nice pictures. Stories about animals, stories about kids, fairy tales, poetry about the change of seasons, about autumn and spring and winter. By the way, they very often learn poetry by heart. And then my youngest son also has a subject that is called outside world, or like surrounding world. It is a subject, I guess, that includes like some information about geography, about biology, about ecology, about everything, like a little bit of everything here. It's also very colorful with pictures. Oh, you can see that this book is definitely not new. So okay, we're gonna have to erase that. And of course, we have English language. We have a book that the school gives you, and we have a workbook that we have to buy ourselves. And we had to buy these 2 books additionally. Like, they're not included into the school program, but our teacher really advised us to have them. This is the math book. Yeah, and this is the Russian grammar book. These are the books of my older son. Well, let me show them to you a little bit closer. He also has Russian literature that goes in 2 parts. The book itself looks like this. And the structure is like this. Like, they give you information about the writer, and then they give you some of his poems or his stories. And then they have some questions that you have to answer. And then again, like another author. By the way, this is Tolstoy. So information about him, about his life, about his works, and then his stories. Yes, a couple of his stories. That's Russian grammar. These 2 books are absolutely new. That's how they look like. So they have assignments that you have to copy down in your notebook, and to fill in all the missing letters here. These are the rules that you have to know, and this is just some additional information that might be useful to you. Now, math, of course. They have only 1 book on math. This. Yeah, that's what they're gonna do. He also has English. That's his workbook that we bought, and that's the student's book that was given to us by school. What is new for my older kid is that this year he's gonna have history. He's gonna have this subject on computers. He's gonna have geography, and he's going to have biology. So these four subjects are new to him. That's geography, some maps at the end. And that's a pretty colorful book. Talk about ecology. Yep. Now we have biology. Nothing special over here. I guess it's just like everywhere else. Yep. About plants, about cells, about animals, about some famous biologists. And things like that. Oh, yep. Oh. History. Oh, I remember when I was little, I loved this book of history. The first year then when we studied history, I loved it because, at first we studied about the first people, about Homo sapiens, and then we studied about Egypt and about Mesopotamia. Yeah. Wow, this is great. They have maps and pictures here. This is cool. I love this period of history. So what else do we have left? We have this one. This is a book on computer knowledge. Actually, I looked it up a little bit, and most of the things that they're gonna learn here are already known to most of the kids, I think. They will teach him to work with the text, with figures. So they're gonna work with Word, with Excel, with PowerPoint, and other programs like this. And I think that most of the kids already know how to do this. So these were my kids' books. He also has similar notebooks that my younger son has. Similar what concerns math. And as for Russian language, older kids have different notebooks. They have wider lines like this. Okay, and for other subjects such as history, biology, geography, they're allowed to have thicker notebooks that can have something on them, like this, for example. This is a history notebook. It's pretty funny. That's Napoleon cat over here. And this notebook already has some dates of the main historical events over here at the last page, which might be very useful for kids. My kids do have a lot of school books with them every day. And sometimes their school bag is really, really heavy because of that. The thing is that in school, they do not have lockers to keep their books in and their other school stuff in. They only have little boxes for keeping all their necessary things for art classes, like paper, carton, colored paper, glue, brushes, colors, and things like that. Uh, so we have no place to leave the books at. It's one thing. And the other thing is that we usually have a lot of homework. Like we have homework on each subject. So they cannot possibly leave their books at school because they will need them at home to prepare the homework. Russian kids usually have 2 meals a day. They can have breakfast at school and they can also have lunch at school. Now, as for breakfast, elementary school kids usually have it for free. And older kids in middle school, they have to pay for breakfast. And as for lunches, you have to pay for lunches, no matter if your child is in middle school or in elementary, like everybody pays for lunches. What do kids usually have for breakfast, for example? Well, the canteens, they try to feed kids with good food, with the right healthy food. So usually for breakfast they have different types of kasha. If you want to know what Russian kasha is, you can click to my previous video. I will place a link in the description to the video. So they have different types of kasha. They have omelets. They have sandwiches with cheese. They have different stuff made from tvarog, from cottage cheese. Something like pancakes from it, or something like a cheesecake made from this that we call zapikanka. It's not exactly a cheesecake. It's a little bit different. Like it's more simple and not as sweet as the cheesecake is. For dinners, they usually have a soup for the first dish, and then they have something from meat or from fish, some meatballs, or some, I don't know, some ragu or something else, together with vegetables or with mashed potatoes or with buckwheat or something else, or with spaghetti. And by the way, yes, it is possible to buy something at school, like except the usual lunch and the usual breakfast. They always have something to sell there, something for you to choose from, like buns, a little hot dogs, and even a piece of pizza sometimes. But here again, kids are not taking money with them to school. We have different system. They have school cards that you can put money on for your kid to use in the canteen, and you can also use those school cards as a transport card for city transport. So everyone, that was it for today. I can't think of anything else that I can actually tell you about Russian schools. I think I talked about everything already. But anyway, if you still have some questions left about Russian school, if you want to specify some of the things, feel free to ask me in the comments and I will be happy to answer them for you. So don't forget to subscribe if you didn't do that before, and push the like button. And me and this guy over here, we wish you a good day. Take care of yourselves and let the force be with you. Bye. Let's have a cup of coffee. Definitely. What did you say? Ah, okay. Yeah, let's go. Let's go do it.